Hi, and welcome to Into the Shadows with Regina and Teresa. I'm your host, Regina, and my co-host tonight will be Teresa. Our guests tonight are Anthony and Deena Holmes. They're the founders of Divine Research Society, and they're also members of a paranormal team called Maryland Ghost Trackers. We'll bring them on right now. Deena and Anthony?
Hey.
Hi there. How are y'all?
How you doing?
Oh, we're doing good, real good. I'm telling you, I just want to jump right in, ask a question to you, Anthony. I want you to tell us a little bit about Divine Research Society.
Oh, yeah, me and Deena, we just now it's called Divine Research Society. It's just a husband and wife team, just me and her. It's not a group. It's just me and her. And what we like to do is research. We don't want to be connected to just a tag as paranormal investigator or parapsychologist, stuff, just paranormal. No. We want to do research. If we're going to do research, we want to do the full broad. And we're just starting out with our own thing. And we want to investigate things that, you have people who will go out and investigate Squatch, Bigfoot. You might have some UFO reports coming in. You want to go and see what's going on with that. Our main thing is research, study, and to see what's going on. And we can't be defined to just paranormal. You know what I mean? Paranormal is a huge area, but then again, it's also a small area. As a researcher, sometimes you end up getting bored doing just the same thing, just paranormal, ghosts, the demonic, or what have you. And broaden it. Let me get a call to say, hey, I hear this animal in the woods. I don't know what's going on. Hey, well, let's go see what it is. Let's go check it out. Let's investigate. Let's do some research. Let's go to some places that has a lot of things that you can research, history type stuff. We want to do all of that, not just your paranormal. And prime is that, you ever watch Destination Truth?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, you see, Josh just don't do ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
He do whatever myths and legends that are existing that is out there. And I can't see you ever getting bored doing that. You forever learning new stuff and learning history also, and also tapping into the paranormal as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're covering a whole broad range, not just one little area. And when you got a lot of people doing just the one little area, you going to class eventually. Everyone doing the same little old thing. So in broad just studies, get out there, learn, research something else,
Yeah, well, and see, that's kind of how our radio show is here. We've delved into Bigfoot, UFOs, you name it. We've talked about it, and because, like you said, the paranormal is so broad because paranormal is just simply anything that's not normal.
Right.
And so we talk about everything. I mean, our passion is, of course, the investigating and paranormal investigations and stuff like that. But it's so broad. So that's what you're doing is pretty much what we're doing also. So that's a neat thing. But I wanted to ask Deena, what's the main reason that you're in the paranormal field, and what do you want to accomplish with Divine Research Society?
Well, my main reason being in the field is for the research. I never really was involved in it until I did meet Anthony, and he got me involved in it. I really never knew the investigation side of the paranormal, and as I've gotten into it, I just love it. I love learning. I love just finding new things and like Anthony said, just researching and knowing more about everything that we're doing every day. And along with our divine research, Tony's really been interested in learning about NDEs, near-death experiences, and he's been reading up on a lot of that. And so that's some really interesting stuff that we want to accomplish with our society.
Yeah. Well, and then Anthony, as being a part of Maryland Ghost Trackers, do y'all investigate well-known places, and then also like do the residential hauntings, or do y'all do a little bit of both, or?
We do it all.
Yeah, we do both.
We do Rolling Hills Asylum, Eastern State Penitentiary. We've been to St. Albans, Moundsville. We've been so many places. Actually in May, we'll be at Ohio State Affirmity. And we have a lot of other stuff lined up too. Yeah, we do it all. We do the historical places, and we do a lot of privates. And a lot of our privates, we do come down the line sometimes. We're TAPS affiliated. We're like a distinction of TAPS for the Maryland branch. And when they get things come through TAPS, for Maryland and stuff like that, they would send us those investigations to privates, and we would go out and take care of those as well.
Well, this next question is kind of for both of y'all, because I was just with the fact that you've been so many places, what would you say is the one thing that just sticks out in your mind that has happened on an investigation that you just couldn't believe you experienced?
Wow. We've been a lot of places and experienced a lot of things.
Yes, we have.
The most recent place we went to was, what was that, St. Albans?
Yes.
And a lot of awesome experiences there. You can actually feel the presence of the entity, hear the footsteps right by you, just about. And it was so funny. We were upstairs, and I could tell that Deena was really shooken up, and you could just feel the presence. And we did, I just calmed her down a little bit and took her downstairs. And you have some places where the activity is really heavy, and some places where there's nothing at all. One of my favorite places is probably Hillview Manor. And a lot of the experiences there. Shadows, tons of shadows you see there. You hear your basic noise, doors slamming. We were at, y'all ever been to Hillview Manor?
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. And it's like an old mental hospital, whatever, have you, nursing home, and we were downstairs on the first floor in a nursing station, and we were just doing EVPs and stuff, and there was a board across from where I was sitting. You know them boards that have thumbtacks and all that stuff on them, paper pinned up, and stuff just started flying off of that thing across to where I was. I was like, wow, and then down the hall, you hear this door slam real loud. Boom! And then you like, what in the world? And then you look, and then that's where you see your shadow. Stuff like that, it's just crazy. And it's something when you experience things like that, each experience is different, Some experiences are uncomfortable and uneasy, and then you have some that don't really bother you. Whatever is there is just letting you know it's there. And when you go into these places, like especially Hillview Manor or St. Albans, when you have teams in every weekend, sometimes the activity will be high. Because I tell people all the time, it's like you going to a party. If you're giving a party and you're expecting people to come, you're there expecting, you're going to be showing yourself when they show up. And when you got these teams going into these places every weekend, whatever entities are there are used to people coming in trying to communicate. And I know sometimes they're probably there waiting, and as you get there, then they're there also, and but you get the typical sounds, and in noise, and I have not yet. Well, I've seen shadows and stuff like that. I have not yet seen a full body apparition. Not yet. And sometimes when I go into a place, I go in open. I go in expectant, and I also go in knowing that sometimes things won't happen. That doesn't mean that something's not there just because you don't get any evidence as well. And
right.
But yeah, so many places we went to. The activity is different at each place. Sometimes you will get. I went to one investigation at a museum in Baltimore, and people just started getting real sick. Really sick. And one of the claims were when you go there and investigate, the team members get sick. Everyone got sick. I didn't. But a lot of people there was getting really sick and regurgitating and stuff like that. And that was something else, But I felt fine. Every time before I go into a place, number one, me and Deena, a lot of people don't do it, and some people do. Me and Deena will say a prayer. Asking God for protection. And ask Him to embroad our study so that we're there, that we can be sensitive to what's going on, but to also protect us, and we don't allow attachments to leave with us. Whatever there is going to stay there when we leave. I don't want nothing coming here bugging me, especially when I'm trying to sleep. So I'm like, you stay there. When we leave, like, you got to stay here. You ain't coming with me. But that's another thing that's important. People don't protect themselves, and those some of the times are people that get jacked up.
Right.
To each his own. Everyone have their own little method of doing things, and but yeah, each place is different, and each experience is different. I never had anything harmful happen to me ever on any of the investigations. Thank God for that. Some people want to go and investigate. So a lot of people want to go into an investigation hoping something terrible happened to them so they could post it and brag about it. But these entities people dealing with, sometimes you don't know what they are. You may think it's a human spirit, but sometimes it ain't. They're very sneaky, very tricky. And the dangers, you don't hear a lot of people talk about the dangers of the paranormal either. They just talk about the investigating part. Yeah, get to the, but what you're doing, there are dangers in it too, and a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And they go in blind, so.
I was just going to ask Deena about her, what experiences she's had that maybe differ from yours, or, because everybody has a different experience. It's kind of individually based, what people's experiences are. So I was just kind of wondering what she's experienced.
Well, not being in the field for too long, I haven't had, too many experiences of, the noises, the footsteps. I've gotten a lot of EVPs. Like Anthony said, the last place at St. Albans, that was probably the worst place for me. Like, I think was it the third floor we were on?
Yeah,
and
we were in the attic, I think.
I don't know. Just as soon as we went up there, I don't know, something just didn't feel right. And I didn't feel right the whole time we were there. I just wanted to, I don't know, I just felt sad and wanted to cry, and I was just not right. And that's, like Anthony said, he's like, okay, it's time to get out of this room. And that happened like as soon as we went up there. We weren't even up in that attic for maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just too much. And then, we went and investigated the rest of the building, and I was fine, but it was just that one floor. I just couldn't deal with it. I don't know what was happening there. And I guess, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's just wild how, people can be in the same spot, kind of like Anthony was saying, be in the same venue and have such different feelings, have such different reactions to wherever you are.
Right.
So I think that's an interesting thing. Well, I want to, I'm going to bring my co-host Teresa on because I know she has some questions for y'all. So, Teresa, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Deena. I hope that I say your name right, Deena. Is that right?
You did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Me and my husband, we're also a team. As a husband and wife team, who usually is a take charge person on the investigations from the husband and wife aspect side of the team?
Anthony. Yeah, he's the tech guy. I just run the cords where he tells me to go.
Yeah, well, when we were Maryland Ghost Trackers, I know that Matt, him and Laura are the ones who are the founders of it. They always put me and Deena together as well. And we take care of the DVR system. She helps me hook it up and all that good stuff. And we have static cams, EVP recorders. We have a lot of stuff, GoPros, you name it, we got it. And we pretty much help each other set up, or if I set cameras up, she'll run the cords for me and stuff like that. And so basically, I'm the techie person, and she does a lot of tech stuff too. She's learning a whole lot on that side. So she helps hook up everything as well. There's nothing that she doesn't do.
Well, yeah, you have to collaborate together as a team on that. I was going to mention you're up there in Maryland, and we, this past summer, went up that way and did Weensbot Museum. Have you been there?
What's the name of it?
Weems, that's WEEMS, Weensbot.
No, I haven't been there before.
Well, it's not in Maryland. It's really actually in Virginia, near D.C. Mm-hmm. But, Maryland's not that far. So
no.
Right. Yeah, I work in D.C., so that shouldn't be that far. We're going to have to check that out.
That's a really neat place. We got to go in. They're really nice people, but check that one out. We'd love to hook up sometime, with you.
That'll be good. Yeah, we could set something like that up. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a question, too, to you, Anthony. Didn't you at one time have, post some things on a YouTube channel or something?
Sometimes when me and Deena do investigations, Maryland Ghost Trackers, we post our investigations on YouTube sometimes. I love it, sharing experiences and talking about things is always good, and that's how you get connection, and that's good friends and end up hooking up and doing investigations together. That's how you meet people out there who are doing the same thing and have the same heart that you have,
The next question I want to ask is, I've seen your pictures posted with Lorraine and the famous doll in there. You want to elaborate a little bit about your relationship with Lorraine and the doll?
Yeah, Annabella. We'll be up there tomorrow, actually, in Connecticut. We will be driving up in the morning, actually. First time, it was some years ago, me and Deena went up to Warnology, and that's when it used to be at Lorraine Warren's house. What you do is you get there, and they do a lecture, about 40 minutes, and Tony, which is married to her daughter, he shows you different videos of some cases they did, and one case with an exorcism that took place and stuff like that. After that, you go downstairs into the museum, which is at Lorraine's house, where all the artifacts and things that they retrieve from cases they've done throughout the years are at. So you have all that energy in that one place. You walk through the museum, Annabelle is sitting right there looking at you. And to your right of the museum, you have the conjuring mirror. The whole place is filled of stuff from all cases. You have a lot of witchcraft stuff that they took from cases, and voodoo dolls, and books on Satanism. Everything you could think of that has to do with the occult is in there. And the first thing they tell you is when you go down there, don't touch not one thing. If you bump into something, let them know right away. And they also do a prayer before you go downstairs, for protection and stuff like that. But after that, then you go to Ed Warren's gravesite. and Tony teaches about psychic photos and different things, and he talks about Ed Warren, you know, how he was coming up with Ed Warren and stuff like that. After that, you have this nice, beautiful dinner. And the dinner, we got the dinner about 10 o'clock, and you there till like probably 12 a.m. or something. And I was sitting in the chair, me and my wife, and you know how, you know, everyone wants to run up to Lorraine and give her a hug and try to meet her and get their book signed and all that stuff. Well, I was sitting in the chair, and she looked over at me. She was way down the other end of the table, and she did her little fingers like, come here, right? I said, yes, ma'am. I went there. And she said, where did you go? And this was at her house. I said, well, I came up to the restaurant and stuff. She said, I was looking for you. I said, oh, okay. She said, if you need anything, if you want to talk about anything, I'm here for you. She said, she wrote her phone number down for me, and she said, call me anytime you want. So now we've been keeping in touch. I used to call her once a week and check on her, and not even to talk about paranormal, just to make sure she's okay, make sure she don't need anything, you know, stuff like that. And me and my wife been going up ever since.
What a neat story, because I think she appears to be such a sweet woman anyway.
Very. She's like the grandmother you never had. I was over at her house sitting on the couch, and this is when they were about to do the lecture and stuff, and me and Deena came in late, but we had a seat up front, which was special. They said, come on up. So we were sitting on the couch, and when they was talking, I felt somebody's hand on my head. You know, I have a bald head. And I felt somebody's hand just on my head, and it was Lorraine Warren's. I looked at her as she turned around and was smiling. She kept smacking me on the head. It was so funny, you know, and then she tell us about her cats, Rosebud and all of them, and she loves animals. So it's like now it's family, you know. Me and Deena go up. We had dinner with her daughter Judy and her daughter's husband Tony, who he takes care of everything now. Since Ed Warren is you know, passed away or whatever, he does it all for I call her Ma Lorraine. He does it all for her. So we all had dinner together and stuff like that, and we'll be up there tomorrow hanging out, and they're good people to be around. Lots of fun, you know, and they have a lot of good stories to tell you too, you know, and they a lot of video footage that you could watch and all kinds of stuff, you know. So it's awesome being around it. And then she is, 89, Deena?
Yeah, I think she just turned 89.
She just turned 89, you know, and she's still kicking it, you know. One time we was up one Saturday up there spending time with them, and they were going to do a case on the Sunday the next day, so she's still doing cases as she can as well. So she might not be out there fast as she used to be in the younger days, but she's still out there doing it, you know, and still out there helping people.
What she does is very draining at her age. You know, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it is. Very hard thing to do. And when they have the events, so far she shows up at all of them. She shows up at all of them and talks to a lot of people and everything, you know. So she's such a sweetheart, though. You'll love her. You'll call her Mom immediately.
And then I had one other question to Deena this time. Being part of the husband and wife, what has been the most frightened in a situation?
Well, I guess the most memorable time was my first experience was when it was up when we were visiting Lorraine for the first time. We went to Union Cemetery, which is a very haunted cemetery where Ed Warren captured the woman in white. And we were actually there during the daytime, and, you know, we were just walking around, and I was, you know, fresh in the field at this point, and I had really no clue of anything. I was pretty much a skeptic. You know, I listened to everybody's stories and, you know, watched a little bit on TV and was like, okay, this could happen, but I'll believe it when I see it. And that day when we were in the cemetery, something touched my arm and, like, went the whole way down my arm, and I was like, okay, this is it, so let's do this. And, ever since then, it's just like I just want to learn more and, take class. We've been taking classes and just trying to learn more about all of it. Because, like Anthony said, there's a lot out there, and I want to know every part of what I'm doing so that I can, be, better at what we do.
One of the recent shows, I kind of confessed that we had a phone call that they were looking for help with UFO. They thought that they had been abducted before. Well, I couldn't help, and I wasn't even going to try. But I think that's great that you're willing to reach out of your own comfort zone and go into other realms like Bigfoot and UFOs.
September, we're going to the Mothman Festival because we want to go to some places out there in West Virginia at Point Pleasant. But, yeah, we got some stuff lined up we want to go to. Have you been to any cemeteries?
Yes, I have. We like cemeteries. I kind of prefer more of the private residential because it's less contaminated, like with traffic and stuff. We had one interesting one we went to a long time ago, and, sad story about a young man who died, and his mother put a blanket on his grave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, real sad.
If you're ever in Connecticut, go to Union Cemetery. You know how you watch Scooby-Doo and they have them huge tombstones, some real rugged old tombstones? I mean, the place looks creepy. And it's off-road.
During the day, it's creepy.
Yeah, during the day, but at night you have to get permission from the church because there's a police that sits outside the cemetery and they will arrest you. But that when Deena got touched, I was way on the other side of the cemetery, and I walked over to her. She was so shooken up. I was like, "You all right?" She couldn't even talk. It was a crazy day, too, because we parked on the outside, and this guy kept driving up. And he got out the car and was talking to me and Deena about the cemetery, about the person that died there. And he said, "I dare you to come at night." I said, "Well, if we get permission, we'll come on through." But then he left. Then he came back when we were way in the middle of the cemetery. And I was kind of watching him. Connecticut is a weary place. It's weird. And he was putting stuff on my car. I said, "Hold up, this dude don't know him from D.C., do we? Because we would pretty much jack you up. You don't, we don't play that out here." So I went over to the car, and he yelled something as I was walking toward the car. And he pulled off real quick. I said, "What is this dude doing?" And he left a whole bunch of witchcraft stuff on my car. So I took it and threw it down. I threw it into the grass. It looked like some of it probably was wrecking or something. I'm not sure, but a lot of it was wicked. And what I did was when I was there, I called Lorraine. I said, "Lorraine, this guy put some stuff all over my car and stuff, And what's up with that? That happens out here a lot?" and she explained to me what it is because I told her what it was. She said, "Did you do your prayers?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "What you did?" I said, "I threw it back in the cemetery." She said, "You did the right thing." She said they used to, witches out there used to leave stuff on their doorstep every day. Yeah, she said when Ed was there, they used to leave stuff at their door every day to try to probably do stuff to them. But it never worked. When you were riding through them roads, there's a lot of woods, and if you look up hauntings in Connecticut or the Connecticut area and stuff or things that went on, and it's wild. They had the legend of what's it called, the melon heads or something like that out there. It's all kinds of stuff that comes from out of Connecticut. Driving down the roads is just worried, so it's like, wow. A lot of squatch hunting down there, too. I heard a lot of people have a lot of sightings out that way.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd be afraid of. I mean, I'm not afraid of spirits or anything, but I think I'm going to poop my pants if I see a Bigfoot.
Yeah. See, coming up as a child, I've seen a lot of stuff. I have a couple of people in the family who were heavy into voodoo. One of my uncles, he goes to Africa every year and study with the voodoo priest there. And, I've gotten, I don't know how you say it, when you used to be around it so much, your body becomes numb to what's going on. It's like it doesn't affect you when you see it. And I used to be there when he's sacrificing animals in the basement, doing some work for someone and stuff like that. I've been around all that stuff, and I've seen things with my eyes that any regular person see probably freak them out, And so I kind of became numb to a lot of that stuff, and that's how I learned about the occult and a lot about meditation and stuff like that, the dark arts, because he was into the dark arts, to be plain about it. And he still is. Me and my wife was at a family function, and I talked to him. I kind of pick his brain because he's very knowledgeable. The only way you're going to learn it is get it from a person who's doing it faithfully. And he said, yeah, y'all could come over. I got a few gins at the house. I'm like, oh, my God. He deals with these entities like they just his friends. He's heavy into it. And I know sometimes when a person gets wrapped into it all their life and heavy into it, they become blind to what's going on, And so, yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff coming up as a child and as a teenager, and that's another thing that got me into wanting to know more about not just the paranormal, but the spirit realm.
Especially with that kind of a background, you would be. Of course, when you're saying that, I'm seeing the guy dancing with the snakes and stuff, as you're guiding. No, I appreciate it, and I'm going to go ahead and hand you both back over to Regina.
Okay, yeah, remember, we all got to hook up, all of us.
Yes, we do. And if you're ever down this way, we're near St. Augustine, so hook up with us. You'll have a place to stay. You won't have to pay for a hotel.
Sure will. Sounds great.
I was wanting to jump in when y'all were talking about Connecticut because I've been there once, and it was a number of years ago. But when you're driving through Connecticut, and so many of those roads are just windy roads and you have nothing but kind of like forest around you, tall trees, forest around you. You just can't help but think, what's in those woods? What's happened on this land? I mean, it's just, I think it was in, I haven't been there since like 2000. So it was New Year's 2000 when I was in that area. And I was in Danbury, Connecticut. And
oh, that's not far. Yeah.
All the berries,
yeah.
Danbury,
yeah. So, but a friend of mine lives there, and I stayed a few days with them, and then I went to took the train over to New York for about a week during the New Year or whatever. But anyhow, so but we were, of course, just driving around. I mean, everywhere that you go, you can't help but you're surrounded by forests and all that. So I wasn't too much into the paranormal back then, besides having, my gifts. But I wasn't involved with a team or anything like that at that point. But it's almost like the woods are talking to you. I mean, it's just it's just a really neat area. I would love to go back up there. Now that I do have experience in the paranormal, I would like to go do some things up in that area. I think Teresa and I are going to start planning on making some trips up that way to try to come to some paracons and, different things that are up that way. So we'll definitely have to get together with you guys. But
oh, yes.
I was we're already kind of running out of time, but you kind of touched on a few things, like whenever you were growing up, things with your uncle and the voodoo and stuff. But I just wanted to ask you, Anthony, what were some of your first experiences in the paranormal as a child?
Oh, wow. Well, I used to stay with my aunt a lot. My mom was a nurse, so she worked night and double shifts a lot and stuff. So I used to, during the summer, stay in New Jersey a lot. And then my aunt, and sorry to say, but it was so much negativity in the house. I think that's another reason why there was a lot of paranormal things going on. You would hear, my first experience was I used to hear breathing under the bed, and it wasn't the dogs, because the dogs was always downstairs. And one day I was in the kitchen. Now, this freaked me out. I was probably about 8 years old or 7 or something. I was in the kitchen. My aunt was cooking, right? One way in the kitchen, one way out. She was in there cooking, and I said, I need to go upstairs and use the restroom. I'll be right back. I left out the kitchen. My aunt was in the kitchen cooking. When I left out the kitchen, I went up the steps. At the top of the steps, my aunt was looking at me as I was going up with a hideous grin on her face. That freaked me out. I've never been the same since that one experience. I turned around and did like a Superman jump all the way down the steps and haultailed in the kitchen where my aunt was, you know. So coming up, I'm starting to, you hear the term a familiar spirit. I believe it was probably something like that, but it freaked me out. And then all through the house, you used to always smell blood through the house, this eerie blood type smell. And you never go near the basement. The basement was creepy. The dogs wouldn't even go down to the basement. And plus, another thing, my uncle used to come there all the time and hold these little meditation circles, and we used to be a part of them. We ain't had no idea what was going on. In the basement, we used to go down there. He had like a black candle in the middle of the floor. All us kids and stuff would sit around the circle, and he'd have us singing these mantras. This one ain't know nothing about mantra or meditation or none of that stuff. And chanting and all that. And he used to have us doing all that stuff. We didn't know what we was doing. We were kids, you know. And when you're a kid, your spirit is so open for anything, you know. And I believe we would just pray. All kinds of stuff went on in that house. And that's where he used to do all his stuff at, too. He used to come there and do a lot of the work that he do and hold these dark prayers and all this stuff. And, you know, and it was crazy. So that freaked me out. And then ever since then, I started noticing experiences and stuff like that. I was sitting in the house with my mom one day, and me and my mom in the house, and something said, "Mom." And I looked at her, and she said, "What?" I said, "I heard it too. It wasn't me." Out of clear air, it just said, "Mom." And she thought it was me, and I'm sitting beside. I said, "Mom, I'm looking at you because I also heard it." You know, and experiences like that and stuff. And but yeah, those are some of the experiences coming up that I experienced, and hearing footsteps coming up the steps with the breathing. You know, I didn't know what none of that stuff was, but it scared the hell out of me, though. And now I know.
Right.
You know, it's like, wow.
No, I was just going to say, it sounds like that you could technically probably write a book about your experiences. Even
I was
just
talking
the ones
to Deena
from...
about that, too. Yeah, because I had a lot of experiences coming up, and I'm also a musician, a drummer. And a lot of the music I've done, Middle Eastern, Indian, but my main music, I used to do a lot of West African drumming. And I learned from a lot of master drummers from West Africa. And I have drummed and been a part of ceremonies, you know, and you see all kinds of things happen. And I always tell people, if you go to some of these third world countries, their everyday life is depending on the supernatural. If you go to Africa, into a village or India, places like that, it's different. Here, you know, we believe that paranormal exists and stuff, but there, they kind of rely on it. It's like everyday, it's part of their life. And you get to really see some stuff happening, you know. And you're like, wow, it do exist, you know. And like in Africa, you do something to someone, they ain't gonna call the police. They gonna say, all right, go to sleep, and you might wake up.
Right.
They're gonna go back to their little house or whatever and do what they do, and hopefully you wake up. If your magic is more powerful, you might wake up. That's how they live their lives. A lot of them, So.
Well, that in itself is interesting. Would make for some interesting stories right there. So.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But well, I sure have enjoyed talking with y'all. I know we're getting low on time, but I wanted to give y'all the opportunity to let people know how they can get in contact with you, whether it's Facebook or you have any websites for the paranormal team that you're on. Anything that you want to put out there or promote.
Well, Merlin Ghost Trackers, we do have a website, MerlinGhostTrackers.com. If you just type in Merlin Ghost Trackers, it pops up immediately. So that'd be MerlinGhostTrackers.com. For me and Deena, Divine Research Society, we just started working on a website. It's kind of up, and we're still tweaking it and doing some things with it. So when that comes up to the fullness, then we'll let y'all know about that. But Facebook, we're always on Facebook. You can shoot me or Deena a Facebook email, and we'll respond immediately. Or even to our Facebook Merlin Ghost Trackers page. Feel free to email and ask questions, or if teams want to hook up and investigate, we send an email as well. But the Divine Research should be together by the end of next week. Things should be rolling. And then it'll be divineresearch.org. So,
well, those are the places that y'all can find Deena and Anthony. And I just want to thank y'all again. It's been so much fun. We could talk to you all night. There's just the stories are never ending. You've had so many experiences and been so many places.
Yeah. And tomorrow, when we're going to go by Union Cemetery tomorrow, take a few photos and do a couple of EVPs before we go over to Lorraine's and meet up with them. So me and Deena are just going to go there and check it out and visit. We try to hit a couple of places while we're up there as well. Yeah.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing all the pictures. Y'all take lots of pictures and post them so we can live vicariously through y'all. This weekend.
Yeah.
And but I want to thank both of y'all for being on, and we will get with you. I'm going to message you after the show, or and so we can make plans on getting together at some point here in the near future. And
sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go for now, but we will talk to you soon. And thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you for having us. All right.
Sure
bye
thing. Night, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Well, I just want to say thank you again to Deena and our Anthony and Deena, and but for tonight, I just want to say thanks for joining us, and from Teresa and I, many blessings until next time.